This program has been rated parental advisory by the CyMax Radio Network. It is unsuitable for children under the age of 7 due to song lyrics that may come to be off color. Space, the broadcasting frontier. As we have traveled nearest the new Romulus system area, there is a place called Kittimer. From there, the Kittimer Accords were signed to signify true peace between the Federation and the Klingons. So many years later, the same place was used again to initiate a second Kittimer Accords, where the Romulan Republic gained an alliance with both the Klingons and its Federation neighbors. Now, here we are again, returning to this place, and now we seek out a third Kittimer Accords, a summit that is not to bring factions together, but to bring them to a neutral location, to broadcast information radio style, and that all factions, enemy or not, can fellowship peacefully. Hello, I am DJ R.T.K.A. Join me as we initiate the return to Kittimer Accords, the true and only show for Star Trek Online. And that is correct, gentlemen. Welcome everybody to the return to Kittimer Accords, the true STO show, here on not one, not two, but 3 different sources. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. First, there is our good... hang on. First, there is our good friends over at... Dang it! Stop already. First, right.
I believe Sandra Freud's playing.
It is. Well, anyway. Well, first off, we want to thank our very close friends over at Rail. Come on, you guys, get. All
Sorry
right.
about that.
Not quite, but well, hey, you know. All right. As I was saying, you're listening to the Return to Kittimer Accords on all 3. TrekRadio.com, Google Hangouts, look for the invite on well, wherever. And CyMax Radio, the sci-fi voice of the universe. How is everybody doing? Let me start off by introducing the ragtag team. First off, we have the super cool, the awesome, the cool thinker, my partner in crime, the one and only DJ JC.
Welcome, everybody, to the return to Kittimer Accords, the true STO show. But this week, we can't call it the true STO show. It's the true kids show. It's time to bring awareness for childhood cancer. We are going yellow here at CyMax for everybody out there. You need to hear this. You need to be here for this. And also, who we have joining us here tonight are a few of our precious people that we love, we know and love, that are a part of this staff. Our social media manager, Miss Smokey Angel. Hello.
Smokey.
Hello. How is everyone tonight?
We also have
Welcome.
we also have the star of the one and only show that could be known as Radio Odyssey, 50 Years in Space. What is up, my good friend DJ K1?
Yes, I am still here, retaining my citizenship on the live stream from Radio Odyssey, extending into Kittimer Accords. This is a very rare appearance for me.
Ah, yes. And one of the hosts of Live Drive every Monday evening. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. We have the one and only DJ Arashi.
Hello, everyone. Pleased to be here.
So, Arashi, what do you think of this whole Star Trek thing so far?
I really couldn't say.
Or, more importantly, in this particular show, what do you think of the whole childhood cancer awareness thing? This is a tradition that we've had for 4 years now?
Yeah, about that.
Going all the way back to Cymax's formation, to my knowledge.
Going all the way back to the Stone Ages of Cymax. Oh goodness! I remember back when we were cavemen. You are listening to Cymax Stone Age Radio.
Radio.
And also the luscious, the lovely DJ Maya from the Country Dance Party in STO.
Hello, how are y'all tonight?
I'm doing good. For a second there, I thought JC was going to introduce me as that, and I was like, what?
I know,
Actually,
honey, you're not.
Let me introduce the intelligent, the great, the grand, Mr. Tim Draco, everyone.
Howdy,
Tim
howdy.
Draco.
I still want my tacos, but hey, I can get them anytime I want. Today's Cancer Awareness Month. Awesome
I'll
subject.
take you to a taco after the show.
Woohoo!
Coming up next on the list is our very own Kensashi Mitsurugi.
Cymax is very own, by the way. We're simulcasting, remember?
Oh yeah, but I have my hands in every aspect of Cymax. You know, it's one of the pleasures of being me, right?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
so yes.
So Kensashi,
Can you kind of say that Kensashi is Cymax?
trust
I
me.
wouldn't be. You guys, you know, the thing is in some aspects, yes, but you know, the truth be told, there would be no Cymax without the rest of you guys here helping out and being a part of this, doing your shows. So, in essence, all of you are Cymax as well. I just happen to be the presidential face of the company. That's all.
And, well, hey JC,
Yes.
I have an idea once I can get the thing loaded up.
Okie dokie.
We've basically touched base on all of Cymax's stuff. Let's say we give a little love to our let's see, son of a puppy.
That
Work,
is correct.
brain.
We need to give some love out to TrackRadio.com. And Kenius, I want to say thank you so much. He is the director of TrackRadio.com. Thank you so much for joining the Cymax Media Network. You are now part of the family along with TrackRadio.com. Thank you guys so much. We much appreciate it. Everyone in the studio, please give them a round of applause, please.
Hang on.
Yay! See?
Yeah,
I get some applause.
It's hard to clap with one hand holding down the push to talk button.
Hang on.
Slap your neck. Slap your neck. Slap your neck. There we go. There we go.
Oh yeah. Crowd is loving this. Oh wow. Crowd surging big time. Big time. Oh, echo. Alright, kinda had to turn their mic off a bit. So with no further ado, let's say we give a little recognition to some of TR's best works.
Yes, please do. Who do we got over there, my friend?
The one and only DJ Arias. He leads off with a TrekRadio.com American top, not American, worldwide top 40. And this is
Nice.
worldwide. This can be J-Rock, it can be J-Pop. I've seen the way he does it. He can't use relays, he can't use Sam Broadcaster, but I gotta tell you, this guy is amazing. And you know, and JC, you of everyone here knows That coming from me is saying something.
It is. It's saying something loud and proud, because I know that R.T.K.A here has went through some issues with his systems. But overall, I have to give him props.
I mean, he uses Winamp, and he doesn't even have the music on his computer. He goes through Winamp and plays the songs that way using a sort of, I'm not so sure what you would call it. Moving on, we have the rise of Street Smart Sister. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about DJ Starit. She leads in with her very own music. It's mostly just music, but she plays a wicked playlist. I'm telling you, you ain't heard anything like it.
Wow. Well, see, I love all of this. I love it. I love our other station that's joined us, TrackRadio.com. Thank you so much. And they are in support of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month as well. Well, we need to mention that.
Oh, Kansashi.
Yes.
This one is probably going to make you jealous.
Why?
The second in command of TrekRadio.com, that is DJ Storm. He leads in with a rock bit as well as political news.
Oh, yeah. Well, then why would that make me jealous? You know, so I used to do Diger in radio. I'm all for that political kick.
You're my Diger and buddy, man.
Yeah, man, I'm all about that political kick.
The profanity. We are in a PG rating.
Right.
Yeah, as much as it pains me, the return to Kittimer Records, this one show only is not mature, unfortunately. Because we will have some kids not only tuning in, but they will be joining us. Isn't that right, all those that know about it?
Yes.
Very, very
Yes.
possible.
Child joining us this evening.
Fourth, actually, two more I want to give recognition to. DJ Nemesis Chicken, he leads a certain portion that is not quite TrekRadio.com. You see, what you guys need to understand about TRC is, let's see, just that one particular stream is a special simulcast. Sometimes Pirates Radio comes in and does a few shows, and Nemesis Chicken is the leader of Pirates Radio. It's part of their fleet, United Federation of Pirates. So we got to give love to their station as well, as it's part of the same stream.
Okay. Well, we have to give them some love then. Well, let's go ahead and begin with this week's show, which is very special to me. It's very dear to me. Let me go on and transition and get everybody here. How you doing? I am DJ JC. I am one of the founders of Cymax along with R.T.K.A and Kansashi here. This week we're focusing on childhood cancer awareness. And we are getting ready to bring in some of our first people. And one person I would like to bring in to start off with would be the founder.
I apologize for the technical difficulties. Those of you that were unable to hear Brother JC, but not to worry, we got that taken care of.
How about that? Is that better?
A little more.
Better? How about that?
Just a hair touch. Oh goodness, I hope we didn't break him.
No, you didn't break me.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
Don't scare me like that.
I'm sorry. Come on now. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Let's get ready here, and we have some people waiting in our green room. So without further ado, let's get started. We want to bring in one of the founders of the Sheridan Sunshine Foundation, which is a childhood cancer awareness group, and they are doing great things. His name is Jim Batista, just like the name from wrestling, yes, Batista, but it's not the same one. We're going to go ahead and bring Jim up real quick. And also, R.T.K.A, if I'm remembering correctly, don't we have a special celebrity guest in here tonight?
Yes, we do.
And that would be none other than Scott Nakata. And he is, from what I understand, the production effects manager for Star Trek Renegades, correct?
The way I heard it, he was one of the masterminds behind it.
Yeah, he did a lot of the cinematics, you know, the what do they call it, the CGI, a lot of that work. He did a lot of the models and stuff, the comm badges, things like that. Yes, that was Scott Nakata. Props.
Okay, and also we have another nice lady by the name of Diana. She is a very lovely lady. Miss Sherry met her the other night, so did R.T.K.A, correct?
That is correct.
And we'll be bringing her up here in a few, so let's
it is agreeable to see her again.
Oh, yeah. So, who we're going to bring up first is Jim Batista. He is one of the founders of the Sheridan Sunshine Foundation. So, we're going to bring him in real quick. And welcome Jim Batista, one of the founders of Sheridan Sunshine Foundation.
Hey, hi, how are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great. Why don't you tell us what your foundation is about and why you started it?
Well, Sheridan Sunshine Foundation was the creation of my daughter, Sheridan Nicole. She was our 8-year-old daughter who passed away from osteosarcoma. It is a type of bone cancer. She fought bravely for 9 months from diagnosis to the time of her passing. And when she was going through all her chemo treatments, and as a matter of fact, except that year, she approached her mom and I about creating a foundation. And when we asked her why she wanted to do that, she said, well, because I think that people need to know that, in her own words, she said that kids get cancer too, Daddy, and I don't think people know that, so we need to tell them. So she wanted to do that. She wanted to raise money for childhood cancer research, and she also was she just was always thinking of others first before herself, and she always wanted to help the families here in Oklahoma. We're from Oklahoma, and she wanted to help the families that were going through childhood cancer as well. And that's what she wanted to do with her foundation. Well, we looked into it, and you know, it was about just less than a month away from Thanksgiving, and we just had told her, said, well, that's a great idea. We're going to go forward with it, but let's just wait till all the holidays come in. And unfortunately, she passed away on December 8th of that year, and she never got to see her foundation come to life. We've been established since February of 2012, and been going strong, just promoting awareness of childhood cancer and fundraising and families with in their time of need.
Man. Well, let me ask you a question. How many families have you touched so far with your foundation for your daughter?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, there has been many people who we have met over these last couple of years through Facebook, through hospital visits, through friends, through so many, our fundraising events, everything. But our foundation has helped over 20 families in Oklahoma that have put in for our family assistance, and we've been able to help them that way. But through our website, we reach people through there. We have family, throughout the country that tell others about Sheridan's foundation. So, it was our dream, and it was also her dream, that this foundation would become a nationally known thing, and it would just continue to grow and have, people, followers, and all throughout the country, just telling everybody about us and what we do, and just promoting the childhood cancer awareness.
Well, why don't you go ahead and give them your web address from your own mouth. I want everyone to hear this, because this is one of those foundations you really need to support. They help these families in the worst time ever, okay? They really do. And when you're in that situation, and this is honest, this is coming from someone who has been there, and that is myself. You need something like this. You really do. And it really needs to be nation, if not worldwide. Because I've seen families from different areas, South Africa, I've seen them from China, I've seen them from everywhere. From Yugoslavia, from Amsterdam, from Afghanistan. I've seen them from everywhere. And you would not believe how much it takes for these people overseas to come over and get this treatment from different hospitals. It takes everything they've got to get there. If the hospital can't afford to help them, they have to get everything together to get here. So please, Jim, please give everybody your web address. Let's get that out there.
Yes, absolutely. It's www.Sheridan, that's SHERIDAN, sunshinefoundation.com. And that Sheridan Sunshine Foundation is all together, no spaces. So SheridanSunshineFoundation.com. At our website, you could read all about Sheridan's story, journey. We have links to other places that could help, and has information about childhood cancer. All the stuff that we do for childhood cancer is on there, and it also has the donate button where you could donate through PayPal as well.
Nice, nice. And if I'm correct, isn't your wife here with us as well?
Yes, my wife Melinda is sitting right here next to me.
Hello.
Hello. Melinda. Welcome. Welcome to R.T.K.A. and to Cymax Radio.
Thank you so much for having us.
Actually, it's more like R.T.C.A. now.
Yeah, could you tell everybody what that stands for?
Return to Child Cancer.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for doing that for us, Rachel. And we just really want to say thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to speak and to promote childhood cancer awareness, because we need to get the word out there, like Sheridan used to say, because kids get cancer too, and kids can't fight cancer alone.
Yeah.
They need us to be their voice for them. Just to let other people know their needs and their concerns and things like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's definitely the message it's definitely the message that's important.
And I want to give my apologies to JC. I didn't mean to step over him, but normally this would be R.T.K.A., the Return to Kittimer Accords, but STO is the last thing on our minds right now.
That is so true, and I must go ahead and ask real quick, since I got you and your wife both here, which hospital was your daughter's primary care?
She was at OU Children's Medical in Oklahoma City.
And let me ask you something. What was the experience like there overall for you, as far as the care went and everything?
The care was excellent. The physicians there that took care of Sheridan were just amazing. She had wonderful PAs that came in beside her to take care of her, and the nursing staff there on the 10th floor at Children's Hospital were just unbelievable. Just amazing group of people.
And Also, let me ask you something. That dare to be great moment that your daughter had was that moment she looked at both you and your husband and said that we need to get this awareness out in my eyes. And I wanted to say, you know, it's an honor to be able to serve her memory and preserve her whole life this way. And I have to say, from the rest of us here, thank you for sharing that with all of us, because I know it is difficult for families and parents that have went through it to share it, and we can't thank you enough for sharing everything you're telling us right now.
Well, you're very welcome, and like I've said before, this is just Sheridan's work that we're doing. Because if she was here with us, this foundation would still be up, and she would be running it. She was very gung ho about doing it. She was 8 years old, going on 22. It was like talking to a little adult every time you talk to her. She was so smart. But it just seems that, you know, all these children, they grow up when this happens to them. You know, you ask Sheridan, she could tell you every single chemo medicine she had, what it did, when she got it, how long she got it, and she was just a trooper during this whole time. And if you see all these little children when you visit the hospital, and I know you may have heard this word when you have heard childhood cancer, that it's rare. And I just wanted to throw something out there for people that think that it's rare. Each year, the parents of approximately 15,700 kids are going to hear the words, "Your child has cancer." And that's across all ages, all ethnic and socioeconomic groups. And I don't know if very many people know this, but these diseases remain for one cause of death by disease in children. So it's not something that's going to go away.
Yeah, hang on.
Something that we have to address nationally and federally, and in all avenues that we need to address this.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with you there. And the thing is one child, even if it was just one child in this whole world that got cancer, that's just one child too many.
Absolutely, we agree, and I'm sure that every cancer parent would agree with you on that one. And the thing is that people don't know. Our Sheridan got diagnosed on March the 9th, 2011, and I'll tell you this: on March the 8th,
Hey, y'all.
2011, I knew cancer existed.
Sorry, I gotta stop you there. There's a call on the line here.
Okay.
Hello, you're
R.T.K.A.
You're on the air with Return to Kinema Records. Hello.
Hello?
Alright, now I'm gonna try to call them.
Okay. I believe we lost connection there. But listen, and we're ringing. Look, it's like a prank call, but this is a good call, see? That's the upside of things.
Hello.
Hello. You are on the air with Return to Kinema Records. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am Jay Rifle, one of the, I guess you could say, one of the original hosts. We've had many since then.
I am Parisha Hegerman.
Meet my partner, JC.
Parisha,
hello.
Welcome. I am JC. I am one of the hosts of R.T.K.A. I'd also like to introduce you to Jim Belushi. Man, you can tell I'm thinking of SNL right now. One person on the strange reason. Jim Batista, and Sunshine Foundation. I am so sorry, Jim.
That's okay, JC. Parisha and myself and Melinda are very, very good friends. We share that common bond that even though it's a sad common bond, but we have become good friends in this amount of time. We both have lost our children to childhood cancer.
Parisha, let me ask, what happened with your child?
Pretty much the same story as Jim's. My daughter was 10 when she was diagnosed with osteosarcoma. We were a little more advanced. She was stage 4 at diagnosis with a 10% survival rate. and she made it 9 months from diagnosis.
Wow. Man, I'm telling you, I know where you're coming from. To give you a little heads up, and people, I'm going to go this. Back in 2009, my son was diagnosed with neuroblastoma stage 4S. And it started out as a tumor no bigger than a golf ball and went to a football. And we got diagnosed January 20th of 2009, and the battle fought on all the way up until April 16th of 2010. So believe me, no. And what I want to ask you is, all right, one of the toughest things for any of us that's been in this situation, I know what mine was. I'll ask you what your toughest part was. Was it hearing the news, or which was it?
For me, I think was when she was initially diagnosed. It was by our family pediatrician, and the first set of doctors we seen at OU, it was kind of misleading for us. They acted like osteosarcoma was not that big of a deal. The way they explained it to us was surgery, a couple rounds of chemo, no big fine. And a week later, we see the surgeon, and her scans come back, and they were all sitting in a room with everybody with their mouth drops because she's completely covered up. She was one of the rare cases of osteosarcoma. Hers was extremely advanced on it. So, for me, the initial hard part was the very first half. She was healthy as she could be when we checked in, and within 3 days, she couldn't take herself to the bathroom because chemo had knocked her down so far in 3 days that she couldn't get out of bed on her own. So it was like she wasn't sick, and they made her sick. And I realize that's not all the case, but that's how it looks.
Well, something.
For me, that's reality.
Yeah, and something that people may not realize is, well, you're going to be okay because your kid's getting. Well, people what chemo is. They're basically filling your child with poison. Doesn't target the cancer and just doesn't take the cancer. It takes everything else along with it. Even the survivors of childhood cancer, 60% of those children that survive are going to have late effects of cancer, infertility, heart failure. Sheridan's had her liver failed, and along with all that, they go on to develop secondary cancer. So just because you hear, oh, they're getting chemo, they're going to be okay, that's necessarily the case, because one of the things that we would love for people to do is, with all this money that comes in, is do the research to develop better cancer treatments for these children, because what they're getting right now are adult drugs, chemo drugs, that are doused down for the children, and that doesn't always work correctly or work good at all. Wow. In over 20 years, there's only been three chemo drugs that have been specifically made for childhood cancer. Only 3. So we have to do a better job with that as well.
I mean, that's completely nuts. I mean, point blank, I agree with you 100%. We really need research into this, and there are hospitals, there are groups, associations out there that are trying to get these funds for these hospitals and different research development groups. And it's tough, so hard for all of us to get this awareness out there. So we really want you guys to push this as much as you can. Get these cured. We need to end this, even be on this planet.
Absolutely.
I think one of the hardest parts for me when seeing Sheridan go through this is preparing her for the surgery. After she was finished with the 10 rounds of chemo, they were preparing her for her surgery where she had osteosarcoma. It was on her left femur. It encompassed 75% of her femur. Her tumor did. And so they were going to have to go in and take out her femur bone and kind of reconstruct her leg. We had to get FDA approval in order to do this surgery. This was one of the first surgeries in OU Children's Hospital that had ever been done. So the surgery itself, preparing for that, was very scary. I remember the night prior to her surgery, leading up, we visited with her doctor, the one who was going to be performing the surgery, and it was an 8-hour surgery, and of course he informed that, she may not make it. And so that was one of the hardest things for me as a mom. I had to walk her back down into the surgery room, place her on the table, watch her go under the anesthesia, and then leave my child there, not knowing if that would be the last time that I saw her alive.
What the?
Oh, we had someone come in. Smoke just joined us, and this is one of my good friends, Smoke. He joined us tonight, and also let me go ahead and bring up another special guest so you can meet him as well. We're about to bring in our celebrity guest, which is Scott Nakata, and
hang on, I got
bring him in. Before we bring him in, Kim, why don't you tell everybody where Scott's from and what he does?
Scott Nakata was from Seattle. He does work for Star Trek Renegades, or did actually he's still doing work for him as far as I understand, because as we know, there is more Star Trek Renegades to come. He did all the CGI work, he did a lot of the creation of the props, particularly the comm badges, and as well as the guns, the rifles, things like that. This, the techie gear, techie stuff that you find in Star Trek. And he's actually a really cool guy. He's totally into what he does. He loves it. He loves what he does. He's a fan of Star Trek, and I have become quite a fan of his work. So yeah, I would definitely recommend people look into this guy, because I believe that you will see him more and more in the future when it comes to doing CGI work, just because of the quality of his work. It's always getting better. So yeah, bring him on in.
Okay, none other than Scott Nakata himself has just joined us. Scott, we also have a caller in here, Parisha. She is in with, and Scott has joined us to help promote childhood cancer awareness. And he has heard a little bit from Jim and a few others in the other room. And Scott, so far what you have heard, I would like to hear your opinions on this as well.
Hang on. Hey guys.
Okay, Scott. Well, I know you've heard the story so far, and I want to know what you think of everything that you've heard here.
I think that the sacrifices that people have made are just really incredible. I mean, having talked to Jim and just knowing people that have had cancer is just. I'm sorry, but I obviously am stammering a little bit here. I really want to see more progress made in combating this disease, and anything that can be done to help is certainly the thing or the way to do it. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, sorry, we was listening to you, my friend.
I hope that helps answer your question there. I'm hearing a little bit of a feedback on my side, so it's a little bit distracting. I apologize.
It's the phone. It's the phone system. There's nothing we can do about that, I'm afraid.
Okay.
And Parisha, I want to go ahead and say thank you for coming in and telling your story and I can't thank you guys enough. And we're going to go ahead and move on next to Diana. Diana, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Diana.
So,
We lost our phone system.
Oh man, it knocked out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Parisha. I know she's tuning in and listening. Thank you, Parisha, for coming in. I am so sorry we lost your call.
She'll probably try to call back, so.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on to Diana now. Diana, why don't you tell everybody your name?
my name's Diana. I'm from around the Detroit area here in Michigan. Welcome. Hello, everyone.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, as a, speaking as a fellow Michigander myself.
Very good.
Yeah, Michigan. Hey.
Alright, Tim.
Okay, Tim.
What? I like Michigan like everybody else does. I've just never been there.
Well, then you can't say anything nasty.
I wasn't. I was just saying Michigan. And also,
speaking of Parisha, she's ringing again. So
bring her back in.
Y'all Cymax Media, welcome back.
Sorry, they're amazing creatures.
Yeah, indeed. Well, this show is not, to give a brief reminder, this show is not just on Cymax Media Radio now. We're also on Google Hangouts. JC will have to give you the information.
We are on YouTube, not Google Hangouts. We are on YouTube, broadcasting live on the Cymax TV and Cymax Media channels. All you got to do, people, is go to search us up, and you will find us there. That's all you got to do is search us up, or search Cymax Media in the search bar, and there we are. Clear as day. Boom! Broadcasting live. R.T.K.A. That's right. And then also, we got coming up right now is Miss Diana. Miss Diana, go ahead and take the mic. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know we're here to talk about pediatric cancer. My son, his name was Noah. He was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma in 2007, and he fought a wonderfully hard battle for 2.5, almost 3 years. Actually, it was just about 3 years, and he unfortunately passed away in November of 2009. He was an amazing little guy, and we had lots of wonderful things happen with him. We often wonder, and most of us do, he touched so many people's lives while he was here, and it's really sad because what could he have done had he still been here? And that's what we talk about quite a bit of, what would he be like now? What would he be doing? How would he be touching people at this point? And unfortunately, because of lack of funding and lack of research and lack of treatments for neuroblastoma, we'll never know.
That is so true, and I know that from firsthand experience. The treatments are very limited for that type of cancer, especially when it is so aggressive, and it's one of the most aggressive, or one of the least aggressive types, along with osteosarcoma and brainstem gliomas. They are the most prominent, from what I understand, out of children. And then the rare ones that are, well, some that aren't really rare, common, real common, which is leukemia, ALL, and AML. They are some of the most common ones.
Correct.
For real.
Yep. Yep. When Noah was diagnosed, I had never heard of neuroblastoma. I had no clue what it was. We had limited information at that time. We had a resident come and give us some pamphlets and say, yeah, it'll be about a year and a half, he'll be treated, and then he should be fine. No, that's not how it works with neuroblastoma. He was 2.5 when he was diagnosed, and the doctors came in and they were like, well, for older kids, the chance of survival is much lower. And I'm like, what are you talking older? He's 2. And they're like, no. It's the cutoff is a year. We're like, what do you mean? A year is young. Over a year is old when you're talking about neuroblastoma. I'm like, what? That's crazy. But unfortunately, the statistics haven't changed all that much, and they're pretty close to the same now as they have been for the last 20, 25 years.
Yeah, that is 100% true, and let me tell you why. They told me the same thing at both USA Women and Children's Hospital in Mobile, Alabama, where my son was diagnosed, and then the same was told to me at one of the best research hospitals, St. Jude. All of the oncologists said the same thing, on the money, right down the line, the same thing. Said that we may get him in remission. If we do, it's a possibility within a year, 2 years, it could come back, or a different type of cancer could come in due to the chemos we've used.
Yep, exactly. He went through the first 2 rounds of chemo, and it didn't do squat. Or, you know, it shrunk the tumor that was in his abdomen about 30%, and they said, yeah, that's not good enough. It was at that time that I was contacted by the University of Michigan C.S. Mott Children's Hospital wanting to know why we didn't have him there. Well, what we didn't know is that U of M, or that Mott, I should say, is one of the, you know, top hospitals for neuroblastoma care. So, of course, we said, well, forget this, and sent him where we were. We left there and took him to Mott, which is where he ultimately stayed. And we were very happy. You know, they didn't try and give us any lies or tell us what we wanted to hear. They told us what we needed to know. And that was very important to us. So that's where we stayed. And his doctor said, you know, flat out said, I don't know if I can do anything for him. I really don't. So we put him on what they called the relapse chemo, and beyond miracle upon miracles, he went into remission, which they said he would never do. And we were very excited about that. And we had a year. He was in remission for a year. Now we were still doing treatments and stuff, trying to do maintenance. But it was almost a year to the day that we found out he was in remission that we found out he relapsed.
And it's that quick. Parisha, this is what we're talking about when it comes to things like this, and we know where you're coming from on it. Because, you know, some of us get that chance of remission, which I know that, but some of us don't get that chance. And, you know, I know you know that Melinda and Jim down there were pretty much the same way. And, you know, it's really difficult for us to grasp that concept that, you know, okay, if they get better, what if it comes back? We always have that in the back of our minds no matter what during the whole process. It really touches home with me to hear people talk like this. But the one thing that Parisha to hear, and I want it Melinda and Jim to hear, Diana, I want you to tell the miracle story. The real story that you told myself, Raquel, and Miss Sherry the other night. Please continue.
Which part? Which part of the miracle story?
Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning.
Okay. Well, I'll move it forward a little bit. It was after he relapsed, and it was one day we went to the mailbox. I was really angry that there wasn't any mail in the mailbox for him. So I played bingo at the time. I went to bingo, and the older ladies there, I said, you know, he wants mail. And from that point on, they made sure he had mail all the time, which was really cool. So he got to go and open the mailbox, and there he was. So anyway, that's the true start of the story. Then we found out at the end of May that there wasn't anything more we were going to do for him. And it was, all right, it's time to take him home. It's time to take him off everything, and just time to put him in hospice and do what you can, enjoy your time with him that you can. Okay, that's what we did. I asked him what he wanted to do. I said, you want to go to a Tiger game? As I'm in here in Detroit area, the Tigers, we go see them. And he's like, yeah, I guess. And I said, all right, fine. So we got a hold of, the hospital got a hold of, or actually Fred and the hospital got a hold of Shani Inge, who was Brandon Inge's wife. He was the third baseman for the Tigers. And they actually donated their suite to us. And so we went to the game, and Noah got to go on the field. He got to go into the clubhouse and hang out with the team. And it was that moment that he that everything started to change in his path, I guess you could say. He became friends with Brandon, and Brandon became friends with him, and it was really a fun type thing to watch. Forward to August, that was in June. Fast forward to August, and he was really starting to not feel well. And I said, what do you want? Because I can't do a whole lot at this point, and you're not going to be feeling well, and I don't know what to do. And I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to see my friend Brandon. Okay. He says, will you start working on that for me, Mom? Yeah, all right, fine. So we went to the hospital, and they got a hold of Shani. She talked to Brandon, and he said, well, yeah, I would absolutely, you bet, I'm there. Got it up, and on August 8th, 2009, he and his wife came to my house and spent a couple hours hanging out with him, and Brandon played with him, and I hung out with Shani, his wife, and they just hung out together. They just had a really good time. And they exchanged friendship bracelets, and Noah wrote his name on his arm, and he was like, I said, right as you're getting ready to leave, I said, you going to ask him, or are you going to talk to him? He's like, no. And I said, well, and Brandon's kind of looking at us, and I'm like, he's like, you tell him, Mama, you do it. And I said, you're the one that's been mad about it. And he's like, no, you tell him. I said, he really wants you to hit a home run for him since you hit one for Tommy, which was another kid that Brandon had hit a home run for. And he said, all right, I'll do my best to do everything I can. I said, all right, fine. And we kind of thought that next home run he hit would be a silent, like, hey, that one's for you, Noah, and it would just be, something cool for us to have a memory of. What we didn't know is that at the game, his first at bat, he ended up hitting a home run. And that was the beginning of craziness in our we had, it was everywhere. And we were, hey, there we are on ESPN. Oh, hey, they're talking about it, everywhere. It was, but it was really, really cool. And he was so excited and happy that his buddy hit a home run for him. So from there, we were on ESPN, we were on TBS, and he kind of had some stuff out there that people were starting to recognize who he was, which was kind of weird for a 5-year-old. So then we decided that we wanted to celebrate Christmas early. Fast forward to the beginning of November, and I put a little note on his care page because we knew he wasn't going to live till Christmas. So we said, all right, that's it. So we said, let's celebrate Christmas early. Celebrated it the first weekend of November 2009. I put a little note on his care page and said, hey, if you think about it, send him a card. He's, you guys all know how much he likes getting mail. Here's my address. And it was like within 2 days that craziness in my world started happening. I started getting all these messages on the care page, and it was just, I'm going, what is going on? I had people were calling me and asking, can I bring Santa? Okay, sure. Can we do this? Can we do that? Would you like ice? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, one of the guys is going to take his truck and go get ice from the local rink so that you have, snow on Christmas. I'm like, no. We just want to have family over and open cards, a few cards, and just have a memory. Well, all right, so the news media started showing up, and people started asking about us wherever we were, and we were suddenly on news everywhere, and we were on websites everywhere, and it was just bizarre and inspiring and amazing. So to date, he has received a little over 1.2 million Christmas cards, and we have, he literally touched millions of people by just wanting to have a few Christmas cards.
Well, that is just amazing. Point blank amazing. Now, here's the next part, everyone, that really touched home with myself, with Sherry, and with Ratel. Will you please story about the lady you had told me about?
Yep, I will do that. With the Spider-Man, are we talking this is really an amazing story. we went to the clinic every Monday. That was our thing. That was where the relapse kids and the neuroblastoma kids, they went on Monday. And as we were getting ready to leave our house in this particular day, he was, Mom, we have to go, we're running late. He said, Mom. I'm like, what? He's like, I want to wear my Spider-Man costume. I'm like, why? Do. I said, fine. All right, fine. So we went and we got it, put it on, mask and all, and he went to the clinic that day, and it was a magical day. Everybody came and watched him. He was the life of the entire building. I just sat back and watched and enjoyed him making a difference in who I didn't know. But he was there to get bad guys. He was going to get the Green Goblin, and he went running around with anybody he could take and would walk up to people and go, Psh, gotcha, like he was, spraying the spider web on them. And he went to the adult infusion clinic where the adults were getting their treatments, and went to every single bed and did the psh, gotcha, all the way around, and was just, made the day of all of the people that were there. So I just, it was one of those special moments. We didn't take pictures, we didn't do anything, but we had the entire building was looking for him and watching him. It was really a fun day. So a few years later, it was a couple of years after he had died, probably 3 years after he had passed away, and I was doing some sales, and I was in a local restaurant. And in the restaurant, I was talking to the owners, and they were talking about how their mom was treated at U of M at the same time Noah was, and we probably had crossed paths. I was like, okay. I was in my own world. I wasn't paying attention. So the next time I went in there to try, talk to them about, buying some stuff, they said, hey, my mom's here. You want to talk to her? I said, sure, all right, fine. And so I walked up to her, and she's, got tears in her eyes, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about your son. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate that, but look at you, you're doing fantastic. I'm so excited for you that you're doing so well. And she said, well, it's really just an amazing story. I said, okay, what's the story? She said, I was at the clinic one day, and I was just depressed, and I just knew I wasn't going to live anymore, and I just really didn't want to. I just knew I was done, and that was it. And she's like, and this little boy comes, running around the corner, and he's all in this costume, and he's just having all this fun, and, I just looked at that little kid, and I said, if he can be that full of life, so can I. That little kid probably saved my life. No, he didn't probably, he saved my life. And I said, really? And she's like, yeah, I'll never forget that little boy. I said, well, I got one better for you. She says, what? I said, that was my son.
Now, do you hear this, everyone? I mean, really, this is something you really need to take into account, and let me be the first one to tell you that is how much these kids touch one another and touch people out there. Even though they're in this dire strait and in all this pain and misery, they still have a smile on their face. That is one of the main reasons that every year we promote childhood cancer awareness so we can put an end to this. And Diane, I cannot thank you enough for coming in and sharing this with us.
No problem.
I know Jim and them down there would like to say something on this. I can pretty much jump in that.
Hey, JC. JC, may I point something out first?
Yeah, go ahead real quick.
I post, those of you who are joining us here in the studio, you guys will be able to see this. I posted a link to www.mlive.com. Take a look at that. Take a look at that page, especially you, Miss Diana. On that particular page, it tells about Brent and Inga developing some kind of connection with pediatric patients. Noah is prominently mentioned on that page.
Oh yeah, if you Google him, you'll be. I mean, it's still amazing. It's still amazing to see. It's still overwhelming sometimes to think, that my little person who really, all he wanted to do was play. I mean, that was it. He just wanted to play. Could make that big of a difference to so many people, and I'm grateful that I got to be the mom that got to watch it, that got to be a part of it, that gets to tell his story, because it's an amazing and wonderful story that I get to tell.
That it is. Now, let me go ahead and hear from Kim and Melinda down there.
That's just amazing to hear. I remember seeing all the ESPN stories about Noah, and it's all these little children, our Sheridan, and I know Nisha included, that they touch so many people with their lives, and even though they were here for such a short amount of time, you would be surprised at how many people they've actually touched. I know when Sheridan passed away, we were getting cards from people all across the country who we didn't even know were following her story. But we got cards from everywhere, and saying how much that Sheridan had touched their lives, and how much that they want to be like her in the courage and the strength that she showed in that 9-month battle. And we still have Altus isn't a big town. I mean, it's not too big, but there's people here that were 6th, 7th graders when all this happened, that are now graduating seniors and all that stuff, that still remember her. And one of the stories that I want to share with her is that Sheridan loved a bunch of stuff, but there was 2 things she really, really loved, and that was softball and that was dancing. Now, I know those are 2 totally different ends of the spectrum, but she was a competitive dancer and she was a competitive softballer. Well, she had been with these girls who were also her classmates, and they won the league championship one year here in our town. And we decided, I was one of the coaches and a couple of the other coaches, we all decided that these girls were very, very talented and they needed to be challenged. Well, we found another league which was in another town. It was a competitive softball league. So we decided to put the girls in it. Well, Sheridan never got to play in that league because she about before we started practicing is when she got diagnosed. Well, her teammates never forgot her. The only game that Sheridan was ever able to make because of her illness, because of her chemo schedule, was their very, very first game. And they played 2 games a night on a particular night. And we were only able to stay for the first game because she got tired and stuff. So they ended up winning that game, and they ended up winning the second game. Well, after we left and everything, all of the girls, not the coaches, just all of the girls, came up to the coaches after the game, and they said, it was great seeing Sheridan today, but we want to dedicate the season to our teammate who can't play with us, but she's here with us. So the coaches are like, sure, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, we could do that. So they did. Long story short, they ended up 22-0, undefeated league champions that year. And they've been playing in that same league, and I think there have been league champions 4 years running. And they never forget her, their teammate. Her number was number 14. And they have, every year they get new uniforms, and they put her jersey up in the dugout. And their jerseys have the childhood cancer ribbon on there, and it has number 14. And I've talked to Terry, who's their coach now, and he says you can't imagine. They have the sticker on their helmets as well. And he goes, you cannot imagine how many people have come up to us and said, oh, is just one of your players have cancer? And he tells them, he shares a story. And he's like, really? He goes, and this came from these girls? He goes, yeah, it wasn't our idea. It was all the girls. They get all the credit for it. And they've been playing, together now since then, but they never forget their teammate. They always, one thing that really, really touched me was that not only that they did that, but they keep her name on the roster. So she has never left that roster at all, and every award or anything that they get, of course each team member gets one. Well, she gets them too. And the coaches and the team present them to their mom and I every year. And Terry, who was the coach that I coached with, is still their coach. He became the high school where the school where Sheridan went to school is called Navajo School, and their high school. He's their high school coach now, and he created a Sheridan 14 award for the best teammate, and that they gave out for the first time this past year. And he let Melinda and I know that after this year, they're retiring the number 14 in honor of Sheridan. And there's a huge sign that is out there on the softball field of her, and because she loved school. She just loved school. And she never quit. Even during all her treatments that she was going through, I'd go pick up her homework and bring it to her, and she'd take it with her to her treatment. And her teachers would even come here when she was here at the home. They would come here and give her lessons and everything like that. And after she passed, about 2 months after she passed, her teacher got in touch with me and says, "Hey, I have all of Sheridan's paperwork on me. I just want you all to have it." But when I went to the school to pick it up and everything, she let me know that Sheridan was actually 2 weeks ahead of everybody else. I mean, here's this little child going through cancer and everything else that it throws at her, and she never stopped with her schoolwork. It was that important to her. So just, the moral of the story is just these kids touch so many lives. And, it's our job as parents, I think, to just keep their memory alive and keep talking about them and keep making everybody who we possibly can aware of childhood cancer, that it does exist, and that is a horrible thing. But even out of all that pain, happiness can come out, and so many people's lives get touched and even changed because of it. And once again, I just want to thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to come on here and talk about our kids and talk about childhood cancer as a whole, because we need to do something to cure it, to find that cure.
I agree 100%. I do. And Parisha.
Hang on, someone else is on the line here. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, you're on the air with Return to Kidderminster Records.
Hey guys, it's Adrian. How are you doing?
Hello, Adrian. Welcome to Return to Kidderminster Records, the true kid show, the Childhood Cancer Awareness Month show, and we are simulcasting on trackradio.com. We are also simulcasting on YouTube and Cymax Radio, the sci-fi voice of the universe. We wanted to thank you for coming in. We understand you have a story for us.
Yeah, well, I wanted to first give my love to you guys. It's been a while, and I've been really busy. I had a lot of losses and gains in the family, and I had a mother who went through it. She's actually a survivor, but we have that in our family. My grandma had cysts. My mom had multiple cysts, and the last one was cancer. And she had to get a hysterectomy. And then it was major surgery. It was super risky, and we almost lost her. And she still has some issues, and so then I have to watch myself as well. Because runs in the blood and all that. But yeah, I mean, I've had a grandfather I lost to it, and I just want to give all my love to you guys, and everybody. I think everybody who's endured it or known someone who has is wanting, in their hearts to give support and knows what that is like. So, holding hands even virtually that's the best we can do. That's still a huge thing to me anyway. It still matters, a big deal. So I just want to thank you guys for putting focus on that, and I just want to say hello again and give you kisses and hugs from across the country.
It's really good to hear your voice again, Adrian.
Thank you.
Everyone must know Adrian is what we would call the godmother of Cymax. She was one of the ones that kind of pushed Rytel and myself, along with Ken, pushed us forward in the beginning. And we thank you for that so much, because it has allowed us to do this every year and promote it throughout the year, because one of our primary charities, and I will let Ratel give out those primary charities that we have, with the one we are discussing now is last. We'll start out with the first one, which is Ken's.
The first one is one that is very dear to our very own Kansashi. That is the Bushido-Kan Federation. It's a mass federation of many martial arts dojos.
And then our very own Ratel had a choice.
The Humane Society of America.
And last but not least, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. They have many outlet hospitals, satellite hospitals and things. And I'm telling you now, it was just amazing what I seen out of there. So yes, that's one of the reasons why. Yes, Scott, that is
Phone is
Adrian
ringing
Grady.
off the hook here.
What's up?
That was Adrian Grady.
That was Adrian Grady. Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Hi. And
Hi.
Also, you should know Scott Nakata.
Oh, yeah, hey, bud.
what's up, girl?
Wow, that's a surprise. Oh, yeah, just nothing much, chilling in my mansion, eating gold, the usual. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I hope it doesn't taste a little bit too golden for you, but thank you for calling in and supporting the show and making your appearance on this very special broadcast.
Yeah, and it's great to hear from you too. It's completely unexpected, and I love all you guys. So I'm glad that I could pop in.
Adrian, you got to come by more often. We miss you here. And, this is one of the reasons that kind of pushed us into this, was you pushed us into Cymax and everything, and it really had a big influence on myself. Yeah, so it's just pretty much both. You pushed us when we needed it, and do realize that you are on the True STO show, right?
Yep.
We still have your Miss Adrian. We still have your seatdom saved for you.
Oh, thank you. I will try to pop in as much as I can. It's been a crazy year of trying to find work. You guys know how that is. So yeah, bits and pieces here and there. So yeah, a little bit of voice work has helped pay bills, and of course it's with my favorite game, so that doesn't help hurt. And it all help. Well, I need more sleep apparently. But yeah, and not working on
something real quick for you. Say something real
quick.
Adrian here was one of the voices on Star Trek Online. People do not realize this.
Oh, I know it. I've known it all along.
I have too. Go ahead and fill the rest of our people in here that do not know this, including our very own Kanbashi and Smokey Angel and the rest of the crew here that do not know this, and I want them to hear this.
Oh, I do voice work for Star Trek Online and for Neverwinter, but I've done far more for Star Trek Online. I might even champion at some point doing voice work, but for now, Star Trek Online is the one that I have been used the most for, and that's my favorite one. And of course, being on a Mac computer, it's the one that makes everything easy for me as far as gaming. So, because I don't have a PC anymore, so. Yeah, but still, like, I've really invested the most into Star Trek Online as a player, and, or player, I guess, but no, not really. But yeah, I love it. I love the game. And I love the episodes and the stories and how much work is put into it. How much they're able to do with, sometimes few resources. And gosh, when they get resources, they go crazy, and I love it. So, it's just it's a beautiful production and a great team. And, yeah, I've done everything from Iconians, Klingons, Romulans, I think that's in game already. Just weird sound effects and a lot of creatures, and then some starring roles as well, reoccurring roles too. So, like one of the ones that you'd hear me do is more recently with 2 different Iconians. I did a young one and an older one, and I did Captain Corrin Klingon. And for that, I had to lower my voice and get it really cheap, and then just bark the heck out of it.
You did Corrin? Seriously?
Yeah, what happened was the other actress that they had who was doing it before, and she sounded older. I'm not really sure. I've never met her. But they wanted me to voice match for her because they're now a union production. So I'm union, and so they brought me in, and they said, can you voice match this? And I said, oh my gosh, I would love to try. And so I did it from Southern California while I was working on another production, and I borrowed my friend's bedroom studio to do a quick recording and send it in. It's the first time that I'd recorded while on the road for Star Trek Online. And they loved the quality of it, and they said, we can use it. And so luckily I sounded close enough to the actress, and then I just had a lot of fun with the Klingon stuff because you guys know me, I know my Trek, and I love pronouncing Klingon properly. So that was an awesome challenge, and it was a lot of fun.
Hey,
hang on. Before you go, Rachel, I must say this to both you and Scott. This is one of those times where you really wish that we had the Star Trek technology today to be able to cure a lot of these cancers, both adult and childhood. But yes, Kinsashi, there is a surprise here, and I would like to introduce you to Miss Adrienne Grady, one of the voices behind Star Trek Online. She has joined us tonight, and I want to say, you guys, wouldn't it be great if we had all these technologies right now?
You know it, yeah. Well, I mean, I hear the joke sometimes people make about teleporting or transporting various things out of their body, some of them inappropriate for, I would say, most audiences, but you know, cancer would be awesome if you could just target it and then, you know, do a very seamless, harmless removal of that using that technology to go boop, boop, and put it over somewhere else and contain it, and, you know, the person's good to go. It would be wonderful. Or, you know, with some medicine or something. I'm sure in the future they would have figured that out. It seems easy enough, but, you know, we struggle with that now. And so clearly you know, I don't feel it's conspiracy. I think that really it's just, there's a lot of variants to consider, and we're trying to have our technology understand that or be able to work with that. So, yeah, I mean, our bodies are evolving, and they will always be evolving, even into the future and beyond. So if we can have technology at least most of the way, I think we're good.
Uh-huh. Hey, Adrienne.
Yeah.
I remember when I first met you.
Oh, yeah.
You were doing, it was back when I was a DJ for... Can't mention it here. I can refer to it as Mystery Station X. We were doing coverage on a theater premiere of a Star Trek: The Next Generation remake, best of both worlds, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
You were the third and final part of the designated number that basically we had to log into someone else's Skype to be able to gain access to. But you don't realize this, Adrienne, but our brief conversation together was the very thing that got things going between JC and myself. That's the one thing that got things going with the first Kittimer Accord, that show that we did. Him and I got to talking at back when he was just getting hired at Mystery Station X, and he wanted the idea of 2 men and a lady. So
yeah,
I was like,
oh,
I said, brother, I've got a perfect way for you. I gave him the recorded transcripts of the show of the coverage special that we did. I told him to fast forward ahead to a certain time index and get so that he can get a chance to hear what your voice sounded like.
And let me tell you, I fell in love with that voice because it was perfect for Kittimer Chords. And then I will say this: thank you so much, Adrian, for pushing us to do what we do here. And 3.5 years strong, almost 4 years that this has been going.
Really, it's been that long. Wow.
I remember.
Awesome.
Jeremy, I still remember precisely what you said, and I'll have to do some radio edit here because we're not correct rating. These were JT's exact words, and I quote. He said, "Dude." I said, "What?" He said, "Dude. We have got to get this beep check."
And when we got her on with us, it just all come together, and then the spark of Cymax was really born then, and then it just accelerated when Adrian, she had to slip away because of her work, and we brought Kinsashi in, and when Kinsashi come in from radio station X2, you know, it just fell. Yeah, there you go. It just came together, and it really did, and we can't thank you enough. And thank you for coming in and helping us promote childhood cancer awareness this week on R.T.K.A. We much appreciate it, and be sure to tell everybody, look, check these foundations out, check these hospitals out, and like Raider was saying on the morning wake-up show, Raider, you're here with us, correct?
Yes, I am.
Well, it doesn't have to be money. What else can it be?
Time, effort, heck, a card.
And let me tell you something. As long as it's a little bit, even a little bit, even if it's somebody connecting with another person, if it's somebody helping a family, if it's somebody helping a hospital, it doesn't matter. As long as that takes place, that's the way it needs to be. Money helps, don't get me wrong. It helps make the world go round. But I'm saying now that it really helps out a lot. And these kids, as you heard from Diana and as you heard from Jim and Melinda, this is really a thing that affects these kids every day. And now, which Miss Adrian must not know, we are live on YouTube with Cymax TV. We are actually broadcasting live there as well, along with TrackRadio.com and Cymax Radio. Yes, we have grown to become a media network.
Well,
that's great, guys.
Didn't happen in the way that was
just
planned.
To add to that, though, I just wanted to add though to that people don't realize, I guess, what effect they can have on the health of others, or sometimes they want to believe that they can help, but they're not really sure, or they don't have the confidence because maybe they don't see results right away. But I just want to say, from personal experience, I have watched, in addition to medicine, I've watched support go a long way to healing and humor. So if you knows how to bake an excellent cookie or cake, if you know how to tell a good, if you know how to make a fun costume, if you've got any talent or skill or anything at all, there is always a way to use it in order to help somebody heal, and even just to keep them, sometimes you just need to stay at a level where you can just sort of get your head together. And oftentimes, both the family as well as the children are struggling with that solidarity and that security, that clarity. So anything that you can provide, or by you, I mean the people listening, it goes a long way. And you don't have to wait for Make-A-Wish to come about. You can volunteer at a lot of different centers. In fact, even YMCA's and the Boys and Girls Clubs, they are always ready to good idea, and they usually have really good hands out there for grabbing others in to join in on any effort. So you don't have to do it alone, but if you have a great idea, you can always, and you've got a great background check, then there's a lot of places that will take you in a second, and would love to connect you with families and children who could just use even just a second of time. And that connection. It really makes a big difference towards healing. So if it's not
That's
money,
an understatement.
maybe it's just some gas money to, get yourself somewhere to help somebody. So yeah, I just wanted to add that out there. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Andrew. This is Jim. You'd be surprised of how much people get out of helping, even if it's just going and visiting the kids and 5-10 minutes with them and making them laugh and making them smile. We go to the OU Children's Hospital several times a year to go visit the kids, and sometimes we take the kids from a college and other groups around here. They go with us, and I had one person who went and said, I feel real bad for complaining about the headache I had this morning. The little boy, the little boy that I met is going through so much, but I sat there with him. He laughed, and he just laughed, and he made me smile. And if he can feel that way going through whatever he's doing, I mean, wow! I don't have a leg to stand on when my head hurts or my arm hurts or something like that. And he said that thanks for inviting him, because that little visit totally changed his life and his outlook. So you just never realize how much you're doing for them, but what they're doing for you as well.
Yeah,
let me also say this, everyone. Let me say this: we have reached out tonight. Close to over 1,000 people on this one broadcast through our TuneIn radio app. We have come close to 1,000 people, well over 1,000 people from what I'm reading here, and the numbers are increasing. So let me say this again, everyone, make some support for these local hospitals that do childhood cancer and research for them, even the nationally acclaimed ones like St. Jude, like Sloan Kettering, different ones of this nature. These guys need it, and also in Michigan, they need it as well. Every one of these hospitals are specializing in this childhood cancer. It could be a brainstem glioma. It could be neuroblastoma. It could be osteosarcoma. It could be any one of these. And these kids, like we said, it don't just take money. You cosplayers out there, the ones that go to the conventions, that make these amazing costumes, try going to one of these hospitals in your costume. Your cosplay. Make these kids, make their faces light up. Because just like Adrian was saying, creativity can also help with the healing process. And if you go to these kids and they keep questioning you, how did you make your costume and stuff? Give them hints. Give them pointers. Show them how to do it. And that little bit could be a turning point for each one of these kids, and you don't realize it. Just that little bit of effort can make it extraordinary for these kids.
I couldn't agree with you more, JC. Just to see their little faces light up, if people come in and character would just be awesome. We hold what's called a Cure Search Walk in Oklahoma City to bring awareness to cancer, and ours is coming up this year on October the 10th, and they're in Oklahoma City. And last year we had some kids there dressed up as Trekkies and some dressed up as Star Wars, and the kids just love it. I mean, they love it, and you just be amazed at how they forget about what they're going through, and they're interested in what they're doing. And you're right, they will ask questions of you, and hey, how did you do that? That's pretty neat. How's that work? And all that kind of stuff. And you know what? They forget about their illness for a little while, and any of that, just to see their kids smile is just something really special.
As a parent of a 5-year-old, we gauged how he was feeling based on how much he played. And his whole life his normal was being in the hospital. His normal was being doctors and adults. They always just sat and smiled and watched him because all he wanted to do was play. That was his normal. And so if he was cranky, he was either in pain or hungry, or tired, one of the three. But for the most part, he just wanted to play.
Yeah, that's what they all want to do. I mean, the nurses would say, Sheridan's nurses would say, oh yeah, I used to love just hanging out in Sheridan's room even when I was just checking her out, because there was always something going on. Sheridan had an entourage of toys and all kinds of stuff that she would bring with her when she was going into treatment there for a week, and she would just, always be doing something, watching a movie, coloring, playing with Barbies, playing with all kinds of different stuff. So it's just neat to see them interact, and then with all their nurses. And I'll give a shout out to all of those nurses out there. It takes somebody special to become a nurse, but it takes somebody extraordinary special to become a pediatric cancer nurse. And we love all the ones. We love all the nurses that we're out there. A lot of them are dear friends of ours, and I can't say enough for what they do every single day. Every single day. So just if any of the nurses are listening, I tell you, thank you.
There's also another one I want to say, and it kind of goes back to the nurses and everything, and I'll go on and go live a video stream as well. The childhood cancer hospice nurses, those guys, women and men both together, they have really, really outdone themselves. And they put themselves in some of the worst parts.
Absolutely. Noah's hospice nurse was fantastic. She was just an amazing individual. She knew not only how to handle him, but how to handle the family, which, we could be just as difficult, if not more at times, than he was. But she could gauge his pain. She could gauge his happiness. And she was just an amazing, amazing woman, and we were so blessed to have her as our hospice nurse.
Well, see, we had one, his name was Curtis Ferris, and he did the night shift because we had a 24-hour hospice nurse for my son, and he was just awesome. He understood the family. He understood, what was going on with Brody and everything, and he was really there for us.
Yeah, they're all amazing.
But I want to give a shout out to all the nurses. I want to give a shout out to all the doctors out there. And Diana, I think you had one doctor that was supposed to join us, didn't you?
Yeah, he was in the middle of doing a family thing, so he doesn't get to spend a whole lot of time with his family, so I didn't want to get in the middle of that.
Okay, what was his name?
Greg Yannick.
Greg, let's go on and give a shout out to you. I also want to give a shout out to Dr. Wayne Furman of St. Jude, Dr. Imran of USA Women and Children's Hospital. I also would like to go ahead and let Jim and Melinda go ahead and make a shout out for Sheridan's doctors.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Jeremy White was the doctor who performed the surgery and did him and his team did just such an amazing job with her, and he was his pediatric oncologist, and also to Dr. Chinny Pocola, who was another one of Sheridan's oncologists, and they, to them, these kids aren't just patients. They are, they're their true friends, they're their buddies. They trusted them with their lives, and they're just beautiful people. And I just want to give a shout out to them because their work is ongoing. They still patients there every day, and their work never stops. Unfortunately, when I meet them, I said, my goal is to make sure that I put you out of a job one day. You may still be a doctor, but you won't be a pediatric oncologist. You'll be just something else. And they kind of laugh at that, and they're just like, we would love that, But those doctors are just, and their nurses, the whole staff are just amazing people.
And also, everyone listen up. You can also get a recast of this on YouTube. We have this on our YouTube channel. Search us up, Cymax Media. All you need to do is go to YouTube, search Cymax Media, and boom, there it is, R.T.K.A. along with some episodes of Radio Odyssey, 50 Years of Space, and catch this very special episode on there. And we're getting close to our closeout time, everyone. I can't believe this. We've been on here for full 2 hours just about here.
It ain't over yet, my friend. Ain't even been an hour.
Oh, it's been 2, son. It's been nearly 2. You're not looking at the clock too well.
Just want to mention something. I know it's been touched on here a little bit, but that's nothing in this world is free. And even though there's a lot of stuff that we can do that is free, but the research and things like that costs money. It does cost money, and it costs a lot of it. And one of the things that we would like to see, and I'm sure Diane and Parisha would agree, is that 4%, and I say that measly 4% that the federal government gives towards childhood cancer research is not enough. I've always said, growing up and even now, I've always said that children are our future. Well, I think that our children are worth a lot more than 4%, and we need to be that voice for the kids to let the government and everyone else know that our kids are worth more than 4%, and they need to step big time.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And
so I know volunteering and all that stuff is awesome, but if you have the means to make a donation to not only our foundation but anybody's foundation that gives towards childhood cancer, please do, because they need that funding to be able to fund that research that will hopefully one day find better cancer treatment medications, better chemo, and hopefully one day find that cure.
Amen to that.
Yes, and hopefully it will find a cure for the disease of children. And I'm telling you now, it's just unreal. It really is.
One thing.
But
sorry.
Go ahead, Diana.
I was going to say, in all of the Christmas cards that he got, people gave us money. They gave us money, they gave us gift cards, they gave him stickers, a lot of glitter. But we took that money and we donated it to Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We started an endowment fund. It's Noah's Neuroblastoma Research Fund. And our very first donation to that fund was $75,000. And that money came from the Christmas cards.
Wow. I think we really need to give them a hand for this. I mean, for real, they really need to get a hand for this big time. R.T.K.A still there? I think R.T.K.A had a little glitch. My partner in crime there had a glitch.
Yeah, if you just think about it if every person that you touched donated $10, as little as $10, if every person that we touched tonight donated $10, what a dent we would start putting in that, So it's not, the amount. Well, no, I can't give a big amount. Well, that's fine. Give whatever you can. This one friend of Sheridan's, one of her classmates, sweet little boy, and we had a Coin for Cancer campaign at their school one year, and he came up to me and he was kind of sad, and he had 3 pennies in his hand. And he said, Mr. Batista, he goes, I'm really just kind of bummed, but this is all I can give you. And I told him, I said, no, you may not know this, and I may not know this. There's one person that knows this. I said, but, do you realize that maybe, one of these 3 pennies be the one that cures cancer? You don't know that, but and I thanked him for giving what he could. And, this is a little kid just giving what he could. And that's all we asked. Hey, give what you can. Because if everybody did that, just gave what they can, you would be surprised at how much money we would raise.
Back to that thought. Back to that thought. People put in those cards, this is all I can give. This is all I can do. And it was like, okay, that's fantastic. And, we the cards, and we had to read every one because people took time out of their life to send him a card. And so we read every single one that we got. And that was the amazing part. Now, we had tons of inspiration through all that, and we also had about $40,000 in dollar bills. It was $1 at a time, and that's how we can do it.
Yes, that's right.
Even $1. And Adrian and Scott, I want you to take this challenge with you from here at CyMax, and please tell everyone at both Perfect World /R. I challenge them. $1 from each one of their employees should go to something, and I challenge them that, because I myself have donated at least $20 just this month to St. Jude.
It's not to really expand on the help and the donation. For those of you that might be listening that maybe can't help financially, it seems to me that and others that not just financial contributions, which are hugely appropriate and help a lot. Don't get me wrong at all about that, because obviously you can't come up with a cure or treatment for cancer without the financial backing to do that. But what can also make that even more potent is just spread the word. Maybe someone that hasn't heard about it or thought about it, that has some money to donate, isn't aware about it. Make it go out there, post it on your Facebook pages, post it on your walls, tell your friends, family, and just spread the word. A little bit here, a little bit there doesn't hurt. You can certainly donate to whichever charity they feel is appropriate.
Absolutely, Scott. And the gold ribbon is the color of childhood cancer, and I wear a gold ribbon, and when I go to places, people it'll strike up a conversation, even something as small as that will strike up a conversation, and like you just said, tell other people, tell your friends about it, tell them, and have them tell the other people, and before you know it, awareness is gonna continue to spread, all over the place. Small as wearing a little ribbon on your clothes doesn't cost nothing. You just put it on, and it will create awareness.
And that's something that I want to throw out there to all the listeners out there. As a personal challenge to you, for me, I dare you to post something about childhood cancer awareness on your Facebook, Google Plus, YouTube channel, anything. Just get out there and do it.
You got Instagram, you got Twitter, you got YouTube, you've got every one of these social media sites. Adrian, you know what we're talking about. Get it wrong.
Absolutely.
Get on these social media sites. Get on your own websites. Put the yellow ribbon up there. People want to see this. We have had so many great stories in here tonight. We have had a great amount of guests. I want to thank everyone for coming in here.
I promised her I would bring her in. Smoke Angel, what's up?
No, I just wanted to tell him, he's talking about all these social media sites. I told you the other day I put a challenge out there. It ain't even got to be on social media. To walk up and down the street, the challenge, to walk up and down your neighborhood and ask people what the month of September means. And if they don't know what it means, explain it to them. Tell them what childhood cancer awareness is. Take 5 minutes to stop and explain to somebody what September means if they don't know what it means.
That's a good challenge, too. It don't just take social media. It takes the perseverance of each individual out there to make sure that this is cured. To make people aware of what this causes is. There is so many people out there and families. And let me tell you, the Sheridan Sunshine Foundation knows all about, which is Mott's. They know all about this. St. Jude knows all about this. Sloan Kettering knows all about this. UAB knows all about this. USA, Children's and Women Hospital, they know about this. There are places in Texas. There's places in California. There's places in Nevada. And I know Ken's going to ring me for that one. There are places in Washington. There are places in Utah. Everywhere, all over the country, in the world, are needing this, okay? This needs to get out there. There has never been more passionate people in this world until you meet people that have had children that have had an illness of this nature. We are all very passionate to get this word out there. And both Diana, both Melinda and Jim, we can all tell you it's a group that have been through it. We never stop promoting for the cure. End story for all of them.
Well,
never stop. Purpose is what Jim just said a minute ago. We are here to put those kind of hospitals out of business. We are here so that continue to affect generation after generation. That's what we're here for. Some greater power has seen it fit to give us this ability, and let me say this. We thank you in a way for that. Don't get me wrong. There's a big place in my heart to dismiss everybody else. But you know what? The memory of that person, my son, just like Diana's son, just like Jim's daughter, you know, they are always in our hearts. And we always push so another child does not go through that.
Think about it this way.
At least if they do, it's quick.
Think about it this way. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. For us, for the parents who've lost a kid, that is every day, 365 days a year.
Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't have said it any better.
You know, the whole point of what we're doing here today, guys, is so that we can step up and show that we all care about this. Hold on, looks like we got something backing up here.
It's JC's relay.
Google Hangouts. Oh, okay, good. I got rid of it for now. I can't be in both, or else we're going to echo. Anyways, you know, it's great now that we do play Star Trek Online, and we get together as a team, and we have fun together, but so that's not what we're all about. You have hospitals out there trying to help with the cancer, you have children out fighting cancer, and, you know, we have a platform here, ladies and gentlemen, to speak out on behalf of the children, on behalf of the parents who are out what's causing this, and we need to put a solution in pursuit. Media. Now, awareness for childhood cancer for this month of September, because that's what this is about right now. I know for many it's all year round, but you know, we're all into the kids because they need us to be their voice when their voice cannot reach the multitudes that media can. So, you know, I urge you all that right now to really take my words at heart. More than that, take the parents' words at heart. The people who are here now explaining their situation, who are telling you what's going on. This happened to my child. Really listening, saying, and then take the next step. Like they said earlier, even 50 cents to help out helps. Everybody that donates even just a little bit, it all adds up and it makes a difference for a child out there who is fighting for cancer. For you, I challenge you to all out there and fight with these children. And you might not be fighting.
I believe we may have practically lost Kinsashi way there.
Yeah, he may need to get his, yeah, he's, oh gosh, he's gonna blow.
Up, he's pinging out this world. But let me finish the point Ken's bringing up. We're not just here about sci-fi. We're not just here about gaming. We're not just here about all the fun stuff. We're here to make everything that we can for these kids. That's what we're here for today, and that's what we continue to be here for every day. Now, go ahead and do our closeout. I must apologize. Our time has come to an end.
No.
I want to thank you. Yes. I want to thank you, Scott Nakata, for showing up. Thank you so much for coming in, my friend. I much appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks,
It's a pleasure to be here.
I also
say, you keep
really?
on me.
Yeah, you know,
Well, let me continue real quick. Thank you so much, Adrian Grady, one of the major voices of Star Trek Online, for showing up. We thank you so much for coming in. We couldn't thank you enough. Of Cymax.
I love you guys. I'm happy to join you, and I completely support your cause, and so much love to all of you. And I hope that there's a lot of people listening who can make some type of a difference, even if it's just one person out of 1,000. That's a huge deal. So happy to be there for you guys, and
I love you too.
And support anybody else too. Yeah, and if any of the listeners need any help, want to reach out, feel free to find me online, and maybe we can team up and make something happen. I'm always down to brainstorm, and there is not one hobby that is legal that I will not do. I think I phrased that right.
I hear you. I think you
talent,
you know,
or you know what I mean. If you got a talent, if you have an interest, or you just want to make a difference, but you're not really sure how, we can always do something, or you know, I can always be your puppet if you got a great idea. So. But you can reach out to me, anybody. These guys can help connect you, but if you want to try to look at on your own, it's Adrian Grady, and you can find me on Facebook. Feel free to message me. My name's spelled Adrianne. So look me up. I wear a variety of guises, but it's just one of me that I'm aware of. So, yeah, just want to throw that out there.
We also want to thank Jim and Melinda from Sheridan Sunshine Foundation for joining us. Thank you both for sharing your story. You really come out to us, and we will continue to promote you. We are also going to add a link to their website on the cymaxmedia.org website so you can check them out. Isn't that right, Rytel?
Mm-hmm. We are going to add that somewhat shortly, I guess. Depends on when I get the link, of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for this opportunity to come on your show and talk and share our stories. We really appreciate the opportunity.
You also want to give special thanks to. Oh God, help me! I can't remember her name.
Parisha.
Yeah, Parisha. When Adrian called in, it kind of knocked her out of the phone relay. That's why I gave you that poke, JC. We need a second relay here immediately, please.
Yeah, I agree. And then also we want to do a special thanks to Diana for sharing Noelle's story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's been awesome being able to share Noah's story and tell people, about some of the amazing things he did, and just do what you can out there. That's all I can ask.
Also, special thanks to Mr. Scott Nakata, who is our celebrity in support of all of this, and the crowd goes wild.
Thank you, guys. It was an honor being here.
Oh,
It was an honor being part of this. And I think you got a bigger celebrity than me. I think that's Adrian in the room here.
That's true. Adrian is one big one. So I give credit to both you guys.
Scott's being modest.
No, I'm not.
Done a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, you've done a heck of a lot for the community, and some of that you did a ton of that for free. So you got a big heart and super talent. So I didn't even get to compare myself to you.
Oh, let me tell you something about this Adrian Grady girl over here.
No, No, see, Scott is my sensei. That's all I'm saying.
No, I just pulled strings behind the curtain, you know. I'm that Wizard of Oz guy, you know, but Adrian's like the diva, you know, it's the amazing one.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna butter you up, but good. Because it's true. Well, speak, you know, falsehoods here. I really think that you are an amazing talent, and you know, everything that you do. You know, sometimes we all falter, we all stumble. Everything that you do has your full heart in it, and it turns out great. So,
thank
you. To you too.
Well, on Renegades, Adrian was a very valuable part of my art department. So, kudos for her. And if you watch Star Trek Renegades, you can even catch a little cameo of her in that.
We at
Cymac watch that.
Yeah.
We at Cymac taught her everything knows.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow. I think that's the height of hubris there, right, Kel? I don't think we want to step that up too far.
No, it wasn't as much Cymax as it was JC and myself individually when we did the Kittimer Accords at Mystery Station X.
I think I need my boots on.
Well, I thank you all. This has been another exciting episode of Return to Kittimer Courts, a true STO show. But this week, be sure to tune in next week, and we will have Marshall Masters right here on Cymax Radio, the sci-fi voice of the universe. Thank you all. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Ciao.